Hey guys, Martin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so today we are going to be taking a look at trying to run a team build with the new AGL Vegeta and the TEQ Saiyan Day Vegeta. Because obviously these guys, two big releases, Dokkan Fest exclusive base form Vegetas releasing in 2024. They do have a decent bit of crossover with their leader skill. And funnily enough, they are both on each other's 200% lead. But the problem with running one of them on either of the other one's team is the fact that they are both base form Vegetas. And they're also both stacking units. So it's kind of one of those things where the TEQ Vegeta wants to be in slot 1, the AGL Vegeta wants to be in slot 2. You don't really want to float either of them because you want them to be getting as many super attacks as possible, but they're obviously not going to work on the same rotation together in slot 1 and slot 2 because they won't share any links. And with the TEQ Vegeta, unless you get really lucky and get tons of additionals and get the hidden potential and everything like early on, you don't really want to transform him into Super Saiyan like as soon as possible because you still want to get more stacks in the more difficult events. So I thought for this video, we just jump in and try a team build with the two of them on this team build that we've made. Everyone on the team is either Gifted Warriors or Inhuman Deeds because of the AGL Vegeta leader skill, or Vegeta family or Super Saiyans because of the TEQ Vegeta. So they're all getting at least the 170 lead. Obviously the two Vegetas themselves are getting the 200 from each other. And yeah, we're just going to jump into an event and see how we get on, see what our thoughts are on this Vegeta. I did find a rainbow friend, although he is not fully link leveled, which is unfortunate. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. So let's jump into the run. Okay, so we've started off with pretty good luck because we don't have them on the same rotation, which would be the worst possible start, right? Because even though they don't, you know, it's annoying when you get like your main slot 1 units on the same starting turn and you need them to be on opposite rotations. It's not quite that case because obviously the Scout of Vegeta is not a slot 1 unit, but we need them to be on separate rotations because really we want this guy to be in slot 2 and we need the other Vegeta to be in slot 1 and they don't link. So we need to keep them apart. So having them starting on the different rotations is definitely what we want. We can only get 6 orbs here on the first turn, but we are at least getting the AGL ones as well. We know we get our full buff. 234. We've got all of our links active except for Brutal Beatdown. Unfortunately, the friend, despite being rainbowed, is not link leveled particularly, which is a little bit annoying. But I mean, it is what it is. It only came out yesterday, right? Like at the time of recording, the unit's only been out a little bit over 24 hours. So I suppose it's not the end of the world, but Blue Evolution Vegeta going to be holding down slot 1 for this rotation and then linking up with the Scout Vegeta, and then of course the TEQ Saiyan Day Vegeta will be our slot 1 unit for the other rotation, where we've got, I think, TEQ Vegeta and Broly starting out. Yeah, King Vegeta's in slot 3. So with this team build, the only non-Super Saiyan unit is the King Vegeta and then Scout Vegeta. So the goal was to have the Goten and Trunks, we could have them floating because then obviously when they come into the rotation with the TEQ Vegeta, they'll have a full Super Saiyan rotation. When they're on the rotation with the Scout Vegeta, they won't, but ideally they'll have been a bit built up by then. It depends how many attacks we can put them in front of on their first turn coming up here, because then they can get a bit of their passive built up and build up that dodge chance. So, man, Scout Vegeta, I know he's a nuking style unit, but like, we got 6 orbs and his maximum buff is 10. And he's only doing 4 million on the additional on the first turn with all of his links active except for 1. Like, that is like very disappointingly low. Like, damn. I know his links do make a big difference, especially because this Vegeta, most of his links are attack links and they're all like level 1 or 2 for this guy. But man, that is not what you'd expect to see. Like the TEQ Vegeta hits fairly low attack stats on the first turn because, you know, he's a stacker as well, but it doesn't really matter too much if he's not hitting super hard on the first turn because he's the slot 1 tank. Like, his role on that turn is to be the defensive unit in slot 1. So yeah, very, very disappointing that the attack stats that low for a rainbow, like brand new Dokkan Fest exclusive. Definitely not what I was expecting. Like, I was hoping that when we came across, or if we could come across like a rainbow friend, it would be a good example to see him actually like hitting some, you know, some good numbers. But we'll see as the event goes on, right? Because the good thing about this Family Kamehameha stage is the fact that it is fairly long, right? Like in the first phase here, we've got 3 enemies that all have a relatively decent amount of HP. So the event is not short. So Vegeta is definitely going to get the opportunity to get some stacks. Obviously, he does have that thing with his passive. We need to drop below 50% HP at least once so that he then starts getting that buff. Because then his attack stats will be a fair bit higher. But we'll see how that sort of plays out here. At least we get more turns for stacking with him, with the event being a little bit longer. But yeah, I guess we'll just see how it goes. The other thing that will be interesting, of course, is the rotation with him and the King Vegeta. King Vegeta can create a lot of AGL orbs, and then Vegeta creates rainbows until that last part of his passive is active and he creates rainbow AGL orbs as well. But then, of course, the problem is we still need to try and make sure we're always getting 3 AGL orbs with King Vegeta, otherwise he doesn't get his full damage reduction. And obviously we do want him to have that because he's a very, very good banner unit. He can tank very well after supering as long as you got those 3 AGL orbs, which isn't usually a huge issue because he creates them. But nice. That was a very important dodge there for the Goten and Trunks. Oh, Goten actually survived. That's crazy. Alright, so where are we looking like here? We got 8. There's a bunch of orbs there. We got the revival up on this turn as well, so we don't need to worry too much here. Let's start trying to get rid of Videl now, I guess. So we can get 9 orbs here, and then that means we can save the AGL orbs as well, so that's good. So start of turn 131, then we get 9 orbs. That puts us up to 500. Okay, so that's a lot better on this turn. And then yeah, we'll get the 3 AGL orbs for King Vegeta here. And let's see how we get on. He's going to super straight away, which is not ideal. 153. And then, of course, Videl's going to super. But we get hit a couple of times, get our damage reduction up. And then he takes double digits, so that's good. Of course, typical Goten, surviving with the tiniest sliver of health from the last turn. So then immediately slot 1 supers us on the next turn. That's very typical Dokkan RNG there for you. But he's out of the picture now, and we get guaranteed crits on the additional supers here with Blue Evolution Vegeta. So we can start taking out these other 2 here. Ideally, we just get rid of Videl, because even though we've got solid slot 1 tanks now on both rotations, she does super attack every turn in slot 1, which is kind of annoying. So we do want to get rid of her. 6.7, okay. We get the crit at least. And then we do get an additional, we go up to 7.2. He needs to do, what, is it 1 more super to be, like, fully built up? The friend does have 27 additional, and then, yeah, didn't get an additional from the hidden potential. Okay. So we still need 1 more turn with him to get the extra part of his passive open. The active skill turn should be fun, at least, as well, but yeah, I still have to say, not super impressed. Like, I feel like this team would just be better because I would bring Blue Evolution Vegeta anyway, but like, this team doesn't benefit really in any way, shape, or form by having the friend Vegeta, right? Like, if you could find a Rainbow Friend TEQ Saiyan Day Vegeta, you just bring him, right? So I'm going to do this because of the type advantage, and then we'll target you against you, and then you need 4 orbs. Oh, there you go, nice. All right, so we'll do that. Yes, I mean, it's a shame because the Vegeta, I think, is a cool choice for a unit. I think aesthetically, like, the card art's cool, the intro's cool. I think the animations are decent. I know some people really don't like them. But yeah, in general, like, aesthetically the card is cool, but I feel like in performance wise it's just really disappointing, which is a shame. I mean, TEQ Saiyan Day Vegeta returned for the first time. I did a video yesterday talking about my thoughts on whether he's worth picking up with red coins, so go check that out if that's something you're thinking about and you want to hear my thoughts on that. But I mean, I think it goes without saying, I don't think anyone would disagree. Let me know in the comments if you do, but the TEQ Saiyan Day Vegeta is better than this guy. And even though you could argue that Saiyan Day is a more important like celebration than just like a random filler Dokkan Fest, so maybe we would expect the Saiyan Day Dokkan Fest to be on a level above the other Dokkan Fest TURs that have released around the same time. I mean, this guy came out beginning of October, so he came out like 6 months later, and the Saiyan Day Vegeta, like I say, I would say is just better than him, right? So it's a little bit disappointing, especially because they are both base Vegeta, so it creates that issue that we're trying to get around here by using one as the lead and the other as the friend. But yeah, realistically, this team would probably just be better running the other Vegeta instead of like another TEQ Vegeta instead of running this AGL Vegeta. But let's see how we go here. So he does have his active skill active now, but I'm not going to use it just yet. Videl is stunned, so let's do this. And then, because his active skill is 4 times, isn't it? Yeah, 4 more super attacks. And then, yeah, it's after he's launched 5 supers, he gets the other buff. So let's see if he can take out Videl here. And then I guess we'll just grab those for you. Alright, so Blue Evolution Vegeta, going to tank that. We got a revival up here anyway, so even if something was to go horribly wrong, we'll get the revival with Blue Evolution Vegeta, so we should be good. Can take out Videl this turn. Hopefully, yeah, Blue Evolution Vegeta can do some decent damage to Trunks. And then, yeah, we'll probably save the active skill for Vegeta for nearer to the end, because of course that's the thing with him being a stacking unit, is obviously he's only going to be building up his attack more and more, so his active skill will do more damage the longer we wait to use it. But yeah, I mean, even now, like, this is what, his 3rd appearance, and he's not cracking like 6 million with no support on the rotation, not getting the crit chance, because obviously that activates as part of his passive when you've dropped below the 50% HP. So there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through, and like once he does have that rest of his passive active, he can be pretty good, but like he's definitely not anything crazy like currently. So do we want to pop the domain already, or do we want to save it? I'll probably save it for now. Get a nice heal off of the orbs and then take out Trunks, because the domain only lasts for so long. Broly doesn't get a huge benefit out of us popping it this turn. Obviously, he does buff all the extreme units, which is good for the TEQ Vegeta and King Vegeta. And, of course, it will buff the Scouter Vegeta. But, yeah, we'll save it for now, because obviously it will run out. And the event has still got a little ways to go. So, and yeah, Broly will be able to finish off Kid Trunks here anyway. Because that's the great thing about King Vegeta on this team. But I've talked about this team a bunch, right? Like, I love the TEQ Vegeta team. King Vegeta supports pure Saiyans as well as Vegeta family, so having these units like Broly here, he's still getting the support from King Vegeta, and obviously each of his supers is building up his attack, so he can just keep stacking up here. Another good reason, I guess, to not transform him straight away, so we can get those extra stacks ready for once he is transformed. So he actually did not finish off Kid Trunks, but King Vegeta comes in and takes out his grandson. Alright, so still got the revival up, because obviously that's the great thing about it's why I like the revival for Blue Evolution Vegeta a little bit more than the one for Goku, because obviously now that we're on full health, Goku's revival wouldn't be available, whereas Vegeta's is, right? So on this turn, I feel like we kind of have to use we don't have to use the active skill, actually, I guess. I was going to say, but on this turn, we kind of have to put you in slot 1, because otherwise we're wasting the full field of orbs. But how well are we going to do? He's a million defense. He does have, what, before attacking, he only has, is it 30% damage reduction? Yeah, 30% damage reduction and 18% chance to dodge, because they both go up to 48, but only after he attacks. So I don't know how much this Gohan hits for specifically, but that's not like a crazy amount of defense. Damn, you're not going to super. But I don't want to transform him into Super Saiyan 3 just yet. So we'll hold off for now. He tanks the normal, that's fine. Now we're going to attack. See, 10 mil. There's just something so disappointing, like a rainbow nuking unit picking up the entire field of orbs. Feels like it should be more than like 10 mil, right? Now, again, I know the friend is like a low link level, and we've got no support on this rotation or anything like that, but that just feels very low. And I don't know if it's because, I said this in the 55% showcase when we were trying to evaluate him at 55%. I don't know if it's because we've been spoiled by the fact that almost all the units that have released recently have all been LRs. So, you know, doing the 55% showcases for them and seeing characters dropping like 10 million attack additionals, you can't really compare that to this guy because they're LRs and he's just a TUR. But even so, like, he just feels very, very disappointing overall, which is very unfortunate because, like, he gets that change the entire field of orbs turn once only. So because it's only one time, like, why did they give his nuking passive a maximum? So that you can only get 500%, he gets 50% per orb. So once you've picked up 10 orbs, that's as hard as he's going to hit. So if you pick up 11, 12, 13, or the entire orb field, which is 23, it doesn't make any extra difference. But he only does that orb changing thing once. So if they gave his nuking passive no maximum, it would mean that at least on that one turn, that only happens once in the entire battle, that he does get the full field orb change. It does mean then at least on that turn, he would hit really, really hard. And obviously, you know, it's not necessarily a super long amount of turns in. I mean, it was turn 7 before we got it this time. I guess it does depend on how lucky you get with additionals and things earlier on. But that's definitely not game breaking that like turn 7 he could do one big mega nuke attack because of no maximum in his passive. So that just feels like a very unneeded restriction that he has, just for no reason other than it just makes him worse than he could have been, for no real reason, I don't think. So a little bit disappointing, but at least now we've gotten a good few stacks of him. We've got the Broly domain active now as well, so he should hopefully look pretty good here on the next turn. We are going to get the Dokkan attack on the next turn, and it's probably, unless there's no attacks, not really safe to put him in slot 1. Especially because I realise now the next phase is the Go Bros, who are TEQ. So definitely not a great idea. Plus the other thing you have to think about as well, even though he is stacking, his base numbers start off very low. So he doesn't stack like a huge amount every single super attack. And so even this many turns in, if we get like a really bad turn where for some reason, because now he should be creating AGL orbs as well, but if we get a really bad turn where we can't pick up very many orbs, then he'll be a liability defensively as well, because if he fails that chance to dodge, he does have 48% damage reduction, but he's going to have really low defense. So that's something, again, that I think is a huge negative for this guy. You could get to like turn 10 or 11, and even though he's been stacking a decent amount, you just need like some really bad luck with the orbs, and then he could potentially still get you killed, which is not what we would like to see. Because, yeah, I mean, look at this for an orb change. That's awful. So what do we do here? It's got 570k defense start of turn. That's not too bad, actually, considering what we've stacked up to. We've got the support from King Vegeta as well. So what do I do here? I don't want to get the AGL orbs, but we're also trying to keep as many of these orbs here together as possible. So, I mean, I guess I'll just grab this for you. Means we can get 8 orbs. Okay, that's not too bad. So we get 8 orbs for you. That puts you to 1.24 million. Okay. So now this is what I'm talking about. This is where we start to look a little bit better, but this is turn 9. And I mean, for like people to summon for this guy as a filler Dokkan Fest, like a nuking style unit that we picked up 8 orbs, which is not something that's going to happen necessarily every turn. It certainly didn't in the early turns. Those are the kind of numbers I would like to see. Again, bearing in mind the friend is Rainbow. These are the kind of defensive numbers I want to see from him if we've picked up 8 orbs, like on turn 1, potentially. Maybe that's asking for too much, I don't know. But like, yeah, at least hopefully that means that here on this turn, post super, I actually kind of would like him to get tagged by a super here from the Go Bros, because we know we'll live, because we have the support, we have the revival from Vegeta available, but it'd Be interesting to see how much damage he would take, because he doesn't have guard or anything like that. He has the 48% damage reduction, but obviously he doesn't have guard. Of course, they're going to super int Vegeta, so this will do very little damage, especially post-super from Vegeta, yeah, double digits. But yeah, what have we got from AGL Vegeta here now? See, 13 million now. Okay. That's definitely a little bit better, but again, we're like 9 turns in. I think we did get his passive proc. Was it from one of the previous turns? Because we're getting crits now as well. I think the friend only has like very low level of crit. We get the additional, but it's only a normal. I think that's the first time we've actually got an additional from the hidden potential, and it was only a normal attack. So, King Vegeta, nice. King Vegeta gets the crit. Tanks for double digits. Like, King Vegeta is such a good banner unit. Do we transform you? What are you at? Oh, not quite a million yet. Let's keep going. I'll just get greedy. Just keep stacking, and then grab those for you. Let's transform Gotenks into a Super Saiyan 3. We probably do finish them off this turn, but I guess if Broly doesn't get a lot of crits, he might not. But at least now we've got the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks can do a lot of damage. Look at that. TEQ Vegeta, 13k in slot 1 against the Family Kamehameha duo. Pretty good. Because, yeah, hopefully we finish him off this turn, and then we use the active skill against the final phase, because the final Gohan is STR. And then hopefully get a decent amount of orbs for, like, a big finish. But this is the kind of thing, with a character like this that has to build up over time, you would kind of hope that when you get to turn 11, and it's the final phase, that, like, a combination of the active skill and then a decent amount of orbs picked up would be enough to, like, potentially one-turn the phase. But I don't feel like that is going to happen, but we'll see. Broly here is getting crits, so potentially is just going to finish these guys off. Hopefully Gotenks gets to attack at least once. I do like int Gotenks. Obviously he's a bit older now with his EZA, so he's dropped down my list. I did a tier list for EZA TURs recently, so do check that out if you want to see it. He still makes it into the top 10. He's a little bit lower now than he was, but I still really like that unit. I liked him even when he first came out, to be fair. But yeah, Broly got all the crits. See, this is why, again, like, I went for the dodge build for Broly, because once he's transformed, he can just get crits all day long anyway. So that dodge can come in clutch sometimes when you really need it to. This was an awkward turn for the duo, but that's fine, because if they die, we get the revival. So I'm going to go ahead and use the active skill for Vegeta here. Blue Vegeta. Get the a little bit of extra damage. Grab some orbs, and then we'll go ahead and see. We'll get the active skill with Scout of Vegeta. Let's pop that now. So let's see. This is what, turn 11 after a decent amount of stacking. And what are we getting from this? 26 mil. I mean, that's not terrible, but it's not ideal. 11 orbs. Obviously, the maximum is 10. So... and that puts him at 1.5 million with no support other than the domain, which, I mean, again, that's decent, but is it impressive 11 turns in for a Rainbow Dokkan Fest? I'm not sure. Oh, go to Vegeta with the dodge. Let's go. I don't know how much damage that would have done to him straight out in slot 1 as the first attack. I think we would have lived, but it probably would have done a lot of damage. So Vegeta getting the dodge, you love to see that. Get a couple of attacks off here. So with Blue Evolution Vegeta doing a pretty solid amount of damage, because these will get guaranteed crits, and if he does an additional like a third super, that will crit as well. Okay, no. Can Scout of Vegeta finish off Gohan here? Turn 11, got the domain buff, 21 million with the 10 orbs. I mean, that's decent, but again, I don't know, because like if we didn't get the 10 orbs, we wouldn't be hitting that hard. So if that was something that when you got to turn 11, the unit was like doing guaranteed 20 mil attacks, then I think that would be good for a new Dokkan Fest, because we're talking about turn 11. But that's because we got his maximum number of orbs, which if we hadn't got, the number would obviously be lower. So, I don't know. You let me know what you guys think. I mean, the team obviously does work. It's just not like... I feel like it doesn't really gain much by having this AGL Vegeta on the team. And of course, if we were running the TEQ Vegeta instead, the Goten and Trunks would have a full Super Saiyan rotation every time, like every time they float onto the turn. Because obviously the only unit, because if we're floating King Vegeta as well, they never end up on the same rotation together. So the only time they end up with a non-Super Saiyan ally is when they're on the turn with the Scouter Vegeta. So it makes them a worse option to run on this team if you're running that AGL Vegeta as the friend or as the main leader instead of another TEQ Super Saiyan Vegeta. So I don't know, you guys let me know what you think down below in the comment section. We'll let Saiyan Day Vegeta finish it off here as the superior 2024 Dokkan Fest Vegeta, but you guys let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you think of Scout Vegeta? Is he disappointing? Is he underrated? Am I making a big mistake here with my analysis of him? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Saiyan Day Vegeta, how much are we taking from this? Yeah, 10 damage. We can't do that with the AGL Vegeta. He is not a slot 1 unit. But yeah, let me know all of your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. 18 million for this guy. I mean, that's the thing, right? He's almost rivaled that AGL Vegeta's attack stat, whilst also being able to be a slot 1 tank. So, like I said earlier, regardless of what you think of AGL Vegeta and how you would rate him, I don't think anyone would disagree that the TEQ Vegeta is better, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.